What's happening, YouTube? Welcome to the Mr. Winslaw channel. I am Mr. Winslaw, your host, and today we will be talking about future plans, where I'm gonna be. The future is something that amazes most people. We see the technological advances. We wonder about the advances in medicine, whether there be a cure for cancer, AIDS, whatnot. Nonetheless, the future primarily deals with change. Yes, things change. As we see the past, as we see the present, and as we anticipate the future, change inhabits each of these, but nowhere else is change more prominent than in the future. Now, the key is to turn the future, a very abstract sounding thing, turning the future into our future. How do you do that, Mr. Winslaw? How do you turn the future, which most people are familiar with, into our future? Glad you asked. First of all, we must realize that people do not plan to fail. They fail to plan. This is not a simple play of words because, as you're about to see, planning prevents piss poor performance. Number one, we must talk to our banker about an IRA. The reason why I say an IRA is because most of us that have jobs deal with jobs that have 401ks. 401k is a type of retirement plan, but nonetheless, an IRA is better because number one, it's tax sheltered. Uncle Sugar probably won't be able to get his fingers on it. And number two, anyone can get an IRA. All you need is a bank account and you can get an IRA. You don't need to be working on a job. You could be Billy the ditch digger and get an IRA. It's very important that you consider an IRA because a lot of jobs from sea to shining sea all across America are drying up. A lot of employers are downsizing. A lot of employers are sharpening that axe and saying, you know what, who am I going to cut from my A team? How am I going to trim and trim and trim? You don't need to be worried about that. Invest in an IRA, an individual retirement account. Number two, consider a long-term healthcare insurance policy. Now, if we are honest with ourselves, some of us have been 19 for the past 10 years. Some of us have been 21 for the past 20 years. But nonetheless, since that's the case, we have to be realistic. As we approach the future, there will be changes round about us and there will be changes within us. We're not going to see as far. We're not going to hear as well. We're not going to move as good and as seductively as we did back in the day. That's okay. It's all a part of growing up. Since that is the case, we need to invest in a long-term healthcare insurance policy. This is going to make sure that when you grow towards the future and when certain things on your body are not as sharp as they used to be, that policy is going to activate someone from the healthcare field to look after you. They will be able to help you do your day-to-day things. You won't be a burden on your family, and plus, you've prepared for this. So definitely look into that. Number three, this may sound very morbid to some, but nonetheless, here at the Mr. Winslaw Studios, we believe in helping people. We believe in solutions. Make a will. Yes, it sounds morbid. It sounds dismal as hell. How dare you, Mr. Winslaw, talk about a will? Well, I'm daring to do it. Please make a will. There is nothing more tragic than seeing a funeral turn into a family feud. This stretches across the board. This has not only occurred in the black community, but I'm sure it occurs in every community on the planet. Some people are saying, you know what, I can't wait till he dies, or I can't wait till she kicks the bucket. She's loaded, and I know she's going to give me that money, or I know he's going to set me up with this land. No. Please, ma'am, please, sir. Everybody under the sound of my voice, please, I implore you, make a will. This is going to ensure that things are in order when you leave this earth. You are not immortal. You do not have an ambrosia tree in your backyard and ingest the ambrosia to make you a god. Only gods are immortal. Now, I say gods in the way of Zeus and those imaginary creatures, okay, because there's only one God. But nonetheless, just to give you an example, please, you're not immortal. Bullets don't just ricochet off your chest. You are mortal and you need to invest in a will. In closing, YouTube community, I would just like to say that I have invested in all three. I have an IRA, I have a long-term healthcare insurance policy, and I've also made a will. This does not mean that I am just super superior to all of you out there. No, that doesn't mean that at all. I'm only making these suggestions to let you know what's out there. What's out there that can help you have a better and brighter tomorrow. You do not want to look at the approaching future with a sense of dread in your heart. You don't want to look at the approaching future and say, you know what? I didn't set myself up for this. I didn't try to make this thing happen in the past, and now the future's coming up and I know it's just going to rip me to shreds. No, you don't want to do that. Take the time now. Invest in an IRA, invest in a long-term healthcare insurance policy, and last but not least, make a will. These things are going to help you without a doubt. I do believe that you are brilliant enough to do that. And I'm not saying that facetiously. You have to have more than half a brain just to be on YouTube. So YouTube community, please invest in those three things that we talked about. From the Mr. Winslaw Studios, have a fabulous weekend. God bless.